What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for Love Goals season 1 episode 3. So this episode focused mainly on Sunday and was it Brandon, her man. Let me say this, I like Miss Spirit. I don't know if that's her government. I don't know if that's what her mama named her, but I like Miss Spirit. I like her style. I like the way she handles people. I like how she gets people to come around without hitting them over the head with it. I really do. So she had a one-on-one. Well, let me start a little bit first with Teresa and Spin were having a conversation at the beginning of the episode. And what I love about, I said this before, and I guess I'll just have to say it again. I love how conscious Spin is on making sure. She said, look, me and my dude are in a good place. Like, we are here. The relationship is good. But what I do know is I'm dealing with some baggage right now that could plummet our relationship if I don't find a healthy way of processing without pulling him in. And that's why she's there. And what I love is that he's there to support her. You see what I'm saying? So I can appreciate that. I love that. So, but Sunday and her man, I forget the little boy name. I'm sorry, I shouldn't call that man a boy. He's a man. They have their one-on-one. Okay? Here's the issue with them. Okay? The issue with them is they met. He was in a relationship with, sounds like he was in a relationship with 2 other women. He may have been just doing his own thing. But he was in a relationship, she was doing whatever, and neither one of them wanted a serious monogamous situation. They met, they were just kicking it. We're just kicking it. Famous last words, right? Because at some point, somebody always wants to change the rules, and it's usually the woman. It is usually the woman. And in this case, it was the woman. Sunday is saying, we want to become monogamous, but Breon is the man's name. But at a certain point, Breon was like, no. I ain't said nothing about changing the rules. I think he was perfectly content with the way things were. I think in Breon's mind, changing the rules were, you were going to be my main woman, but you knew I had these other relationships, and they know about you, so they not going to disrespect you. They not going to get out of pocket, because they know what it is, and you know what it is, and we good, because you said you was cool with it. But see, she not cool with it anymore. And so now they're there to figure out how to change the rules of the relationship. Now, here's where the other baggage comes in with Miss Sunday. Sunday has done this reality thing before, right? She was on Basketball Wives in a relationship that wasn't what it was, wasn't cracked up to be. I know she did Marriage Boot Camp. And she may have done some other things along the way that I'm just not familiar with. And I didn't watch her when she was on. I wasn't watching Basketball Wives when she was on there. But I know from Marriage Boot Camp how things kind of went down. What she doesn't want, she wants the help, and she probably wants the show. But she doesn't want to be seen as weak, and she doesn't want to be seen as a dummy. And so part of her is being very guarded and standoffish, which is blocking this process from being 100% helpful. So they were in their therapy session, and her thing was, if you are really ready to make this a monogamous situation, then call them hoes and tell them that I'm the one, and it is what it is. His thing was, I'm not going to do that. His thing was, and let me say this, I was with him 100%. He said, I'm not going to call them. They deserve better than that. They deserve a face-to-face conversation where we can talk about it and I can explain it. And Sunday's thing was, well, if you really want to be with me and you really want this, then you can call them right now. And he was like, look, either you going to be okay with me handling it the way I said I need to handle it, or you not. But I'm not calling them, and I'm not doing it. So when this is over with, when we get back home, I will deal with it. But I'm telling you that I'm ready to deal with it. And that wasn't good enough for her. She was just like, well, if you feel that way, then you feel that way. And the therapist told her, she said, look, you have to respect that. Spirit was like, you're gonna have to respect how he's choosing to end it. Like, he's going to end it, but you got to respect how he's going to end it. And so when they left therapy, both of them were still pissed off. Neither one of them were happy with the way it went down. Now, Sunday can pretend like she was cool with the way it went down, but she was not. And he was upset with the way it went down. So what did they do when they left therapy? He went to go talk to the guys. She went to go talk to the ladies. But then she got upset that he went and talked to the guys. And later on in the episode, Spirit said to her, she said, so you mad at him for doing the same thing you did? Because she was like, he went to go talk to people who don't even have their own shit together. Now, her issue was that Benzino was in it. Because, her and Benzino have a past. So she wasn't mad that he went and talked to all of the guys. She was mad that Benzino was a part of the conversation and he had his 2 cents to add to it. And her thing was, we here, because she even said that to Benzino, how you gonna put your 2 cents in it? You don't even know why you here. So Spirit was like, so you gonna be mad at him for doing the exact same thing you did? Because just like these guys, they don't have all the answers. The women don't have all the answers either. That's why they here too. Nobody in this process got it all figured out. That's why they in this process. And I think that made Sunday kind of be like, she ain't want to admit it. You know how when you mad, but you know that the person saying to you was right, but you ain't ready to stop being mad. That's kind of what she was doing. And so they end up getting into this argument. So they come back to group therapy, right? And of course now they don't want to sit next to each other. And Sunday gets mad, and because he don't want to sit next to her. So of course that turns into a whole nother thing. So while they're in there, Sunday gets upset and she ends up walking out, and the Spirit goes to talk to her one-on-one, and she said, I don't want to look stupid. I'm not going to look stupid. And she was like, because Spirit was asking the group, what advice do you have? Do you have anything to add? And basically Spin started it off, but basically they pretty much all said the same thing. Like, I do have an opinion. I have something to add, but I don't think she's going to receive it well. So I'd rather just keep out of it. I'd rather just stay out of it because she's not going to receive it the way it needs to, way I would be giving it to her. So I choose to just stay. I choose to just not get in it. And so, so Spirit goes to talk to her, and ultimately Sunday ends up having a breakdown. She ends up breaking down and crying. But her thing is, I don't want to show this to the world. I don't want the world to see me be weak. And at the end of the day, what you don't want is the world to see you having an issue with another man. You don't want the world to see you in a situation where someone's not being, faithful to you and all of that. Like, that's really what it boils down to. So then they get Sunday to come back to the group, and Spirit told her, she said, look, they think you are cold, they think you are aloof, they think you are unapproachable. You have to let them know that you are vulnerable, just like everybody else out there is being vulnerable. Like, you have to open up the same way everybody else needs to open up. So then at a certain point while they're talking, Breon gets up and he walks off. Now, he was trying to hold back you could see he was upset, and he was trying to hold back the tears. So she ends up breaking the group session early, and she says, look, they're going to need you guys' support. I'm going to trust that you guys are going to be here to support them, and understand that today is them, next week it'll be somebody else, because it's a process for all of us. And one thing that Benzino said, which was deep, Benzino said, and Spirit said it too. She also said the same thing, but Benzino was like, guys out here, they think that they out here wilding, doing their own thing. They with all they different women, but what they don't understand is you are having an emotional attachment to each one of those women for different reasons. For whatever reason, they all give you something. So then at some point, Sunday brought up the fact that she thought that he picked her up, and at one point he picked her up in one of the other girls' cars and all that. See, and the therapist said that. She said, see, we getting away from the issue. That's not why we here, and that ain't even the issue. Like, that's salaciousness that we're not getting into. And I thought that was a valid point that Benzino brought up. Like, this man's heart basically is going in 3 different directions because he's giving it to 3 different women for whatever the reason is. For whatever reason, these women are fulfilling something in him that he's staying with them, that he's still dealing with them. And again, you know, what Spirit said to Sunday later on was, you have to respect that he wants to be a man and end things in a proper way, so that he's not creating more bitter black women. I said, you know what? That's so valid. Ooh, you better say it, Spirit. You better say it to her, Spirit. Because at the end of the day, if that were you, if you were on the losing end of this three-way situation, would you not want that same respect? And I respect Breon for saying, you're not going to dictate to me how I do this. I'm telling you that I'm going to do it. I'm telling you that you're the one I want to be with, but you don't get to dictate to me how I'm going to end it. And I thought that was valid. Like, again, I felt like it was valid. So at the end, she goes to talk to Breon, because like I said, he walked out of therapy, and she asked him what was, what's going on? Why did you get upset? Why'd you walk out? And he said, because I could see that she was hurt. And I never wanted to hurt her. And I told her that I would protect her heart. And I told her that I would never hurt her. And I saw that she was hurt, and that hurt me. And I was like, ooh, they really do love each other. But again, you change the rules of the game in the middle of the game, and y'all gonna have to figure out how to fix the game. Like, the rules were written for you to play the game one way. That's why, that's why people have so many different rules for games, because you change the rules according to what you want in that moment. That's why it's 50,000 different rules to spades. Whenever you go over somebody's house to play spades, what's the first thing you got to say? How y'all play? Because it's 5,000 rules. Because everybody done made up their own version of the game. And that's what they did. They started off one way, but now they done changed the rules in the middle of the game. Now they got to figure out what the new rules are. So that was pretty much it. I mean, at the end, Sunday was still being very guarded. She still had that wall up. And the other thing that I thought she said, which was deep, she said to Breon, she said, Sunday is hurt, but you didn't do it. So don't take on what ain't yours. Yeah, she's hurting. She is hurt right now, but it's not from anything you did. She's hurting based off of past experiences. And that's what the therapist was saying, that's what Sunday's going to have to work on moving forward, is dealing with those old feelings that she probably still hasn't finished processing from her marriage and other relationships. And when it was all over said and done, Sunday was still real closed off. She still was standing there real guarded. She tried to get her to reach out to the man and be affectionate. She still couldn't do it. He reached over to her and she let him, but she still couldn't initiate that contact. So she's been hurt and she's holding on to it. She's going to have to let that thing go. She's going to have to that's pride. That's that pride right there that won't let her. But she's going to have to let it go. Anyway, that was the episode. That was episode 3. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.